The Weekly Warm Pipe.
We're getting deep this week, I guess, with the topic.
Well, we are, and I meant to prepare a little better because I wanted to read something that I wrote on a Pixel podcast a few weeks ago to start this off. So bear with me for just a second while I see if I can pull up this comment that I left regarding Phoenix Resale.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
If you guys don't listen to Pixel Plus, feel free to check them out as well.
Let's see if I can find it. Yes, Pixel Plus. All right, let's see. Where is it? Videos. Let's do videos. This was a comment that I left. And I was thinking about it the other day. So I thought, how the tables have turned. Let's see. Jeez. I thought my comment was supposed to be on top. You know what I mean? Like when you...
Oh, when you like checking from your phone or something like that?
Yeah, like when you're checking, you should... usually it shows your own comment as the top comment. So if you want to like see what you said. I think that's the case. All right. Well, if I can't find this exact comment...
Well, how many comments could there be? We only get like 10 to 20.
Let's see.
So feel free to leave your comments on our YouTube videos.
There you go. There you go. All right. I'm not seeing it. Hold on. Maybe it's this one. There's two with him.
Oh, I see. You're looking for a comment that Phoenix Resale had, and you replied to that?
I'm looking for a comment that I replied on the video. I think I'm just going to sum it up because I remember basically what it was about. But I just basically said, I have a hard time watching Phoenix Resale's videos. For example, his GameCube Gambit, because as a collector, it's hard for me to understand someone who like collects, let's say like a complete GameCube game, only to turn around and sell it like after completion. And I'm like, maybe he can get the enjoyment out of it just collecting it for that amount of time and then turning it on and selling it. But as a collector, I always thought like it's really hard for me to part with these things.
Gotcha.
So it made me enjoy his channel less because he's not really keeping it. He's not, he's mostly, the name's in his channel, right? Phoenix Resale. Resale is the main key there. So I was just saying, like, I have a hard time watching it because I know even if I watch him collect the coolest stuff ever, I know he's going to turn around and resell it, right? He's not going to keep it forever. Maybe some of it, but the majority of it, he's trying to make money. He's flipping it. So I was thinking about this because this past weekend, Russ, as I know you know, but many of our listeners don't know, I sold about $1,000 worth of my collection. So now I feel a little bit hypocritical. Caleb, I'm sorry.
And Jay's still yet to text me first to see if I want to buy anything. Missed out on the Sharp TV. Who knows what?
Well, the reason being is because I had local buyers. I didn't have to ship, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, that does make it easier. You don't want to hold on to it until next year's Southeast Game Exchange for me to pick it up.
Right. and so let's talk about what spurred this on. So what spurred this on was this past weekend, my wife was kind of frustrated. She's like, I just don't like our room. It's been set up weird for years. I'm having to have my clothes in my bedroom, and it reminds me of when I was in college. Excuse me. Living out of a dorm. Here I am, like a 40-year-old woman, and I can see all my clothes. This is ridiculous. I want my part of the closet back, please. Do you mind giving me my part of the closet back? And I said, you know what? You gave it to me for like 4 or 5 solid years. I think it's time you have your side of the closet back. So part of this was out of necessity. I only have one side of the closet now, which is why you see my beautiful World Nintendo sign here. And so I need space, right? I can't put 2 sides of the closet in one side of the closet. It's just not going to work. If you could see below this camera, you would see an absolute mess. Like this kind of looks nice, but everything below looks like chaos. So I sold roughly $1,000 worth of my collection, which
Kinda sounds like a lot, but it wasn't a lot of things. There's
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a few more things. A lot of it was the oddities that I've done videos on and a few that I wanted to do videos on. I think I filmed one of them. I'll have to look and see, and maybe I can edit it. It was, Nintendo, like, quiz cards. Uh,
okay.
like, it wasn't about Nintendo stuff, it was about, like, real world stuff, but, like, had all the Nintendo characters.
Oh, okay, interesting.
But all that to say, you got me thinking a lot about like, do you own your possessions or do your possessions own you? And a while back when I sold the TV, I sold it and it stung a little. Like selling an NES Sharp kind of hurts, just a little bit. Like especially the ease of playing it. I've played way less Nintendo since I sold that TV, and I think it was just so easy to come in, pop the card in, turn it on, and go. It was just like kind of a one-stop shop, and it was just already set up. But once I let that go, several weeks later or months later, I then sold my boxed Virtual Boy, and I was like, "Okay, like, I can live without this stuff," And then
Mhm.
I sold all that stuff the other day, stuff that I thought I would never sell, like, ever in a million years, like my Mario phone and my Mario shower head and all this really cool stuff, and I sold it all and my Mario blanket, like, I had the comforter and the
Oh, yeah.
pillowcase, and I let it go, and I honestly haven't thought that much about it. It was a little easier than I anticipated. But anyway, so I just kinda wanted to bring up, like because sorry, this is I'm my ADD is kicking in real hard on this conversation, but, um, several years ago, I was friends with this couple named Wilton and Vivian Jordan. They live in Spartanburg, and they helped open the skate park that I opened, and, they were well off and well-to-do, and I'm sure had lots of possessions, and, like, they were huge into surfboards, and they love surfing. And I remember one day Wilton was like, "Yeah, Vivian's trying to help me, like, clear out some of my surfing collection and some other stuff in our house that we're trying to get rid of." And, and he kind of brought up like, kind of the old saying, "Do you own your possessions or do your possessions own you?" And I've always thought about that ever since he said it. So, anyway, I thought it would make a good podcast topic. Actually, I need to give a little bit of credit to Jordan Baxley. He actually thought it would be a good podcast topic, and then I agreed, so I texted you immediately. So,
Perfect. Thanks, Jordan.
with that huge long intro, I'm sorry for holding the air for so long, but let's talk about it.
That's fine. Yeah, and I posted up on all our social medias. So this way we can get your feedback. And then we usually get the topics kind of late, and then I'm not able to post up to let you guys respond to the topics. But we did that this week. So if you guys follow us on Instagram, YouTube, or our Facebook page, and you can respond to this. If you're not already following us, feel free to do so.
Yeah, exactly. So, I guess a starting question could be, Russ, have you ever sold something you didn't think you could sell or let go of?
So far, I want to say no. I mean, I've sold things that I regret it, but I think for, I guess, other reasons. I don't think I would sell certain things in my collection, right? Maybe a lot of the hold like a sentimental value, right? You want to hang on to
Right,
those because of maybe it was a birthday gift or Christmas or something like that. But
right.
like I sold my whole Sega CD collection to GameStop and literally walked out with just Resident Evil 4 on GameCube.
I remember that. I remember that story.
uh, so I've sold stuff. I haven't sold stuff in recent years though. Um, whether taking it to a local game store, listing on eBay or Facebook Marketplace and all that. Probably maybe due to like moving so much where my like most of my game collection was at my mom's, and I moved into the condo with my wife, and we had a small bedroom converted into my game room. So I literally couldn't fit all my games into there. And now, once again, I had to pack up all my games because now we're moving to a house. So now, once the game room is set up there, I'll be able to see everything. And then maybe the time will come to start to thin down some stuff that I'm like, why do I have this? Let me get
Right.
rid of some
So
of this stuff here.
your answer to this question is like you just don't really see it all anyway, so it's hard to even know where to begin.
Yeah, I guess if it's boxed up and put away and you're not physically looking at it every day or you're not walking into it, then it's a little bit easier just to be like, it is what it is. I'm not losing money or time or any of that, just having it. It's not
Right.
taking up space in a room. It could just sit there for whenever.
Yeah, totally. Um, Shoot, I had a thought, and as soon as I thought about it, it vanished. I think one of the things I come to realize recently is I've been collecting probably close to 10 years now. So every day I come in this room and I see the same things. And I noticed that the feeling that I got when I initially started,
Hmm.
like I had this, I wish I could describe it. I mean, I guess the word is nostalgia, but like it was just hardcore and deep. And it took me back to a time and made me feel ways that I didn't realize I could ever feel again. Like it was like it transported me through time and it just made me feel incredible. And like I was literally addicted, which I think is where the NES Addict name comes from. Like I was like, "Oh my god, like how did I miss out on so many great games for the Nintendo? I just didn't appreciate the system. All I cared about it was getting rid of it, and moving on to the next thing, which was the Super NES at the time." And I just wanted all the information and all the, just anything I can gather. I just was taking it all in, and it was like
Hmm.
I don't think I realized how big the NES library was as a kid. I thought maybe 100 games. I didn't realize
Right.
it was like 700. So like it was like just information. I was just taking it in, watching YouTube videos and learning all these people and realizing there was like this huge group of people like yourself and all the other friends we've made that cared about this stuff. And I was just hooked. And
Oh yeah.
I feel like over the years, the more that I've subjected myself to being around this, it's kind of like when people I feel like I've heard that when people do cocaine, it like sucks like the dopamine out of your brain. And like that's why you get that high feeling. But then when it's over, you're kind of like left, like kind of like feeling kind of like lost and empty because the normal amount of dopamine in your brain's not even there, so it's like
Right.
completely
Took that
gone.
away.
And I
Okay.
feel like that's kind of what happened with my collection. Like I wanted it, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. I gotta have it all. And now, after all these years, it's like I've just my nostalgia in my brain is just sucked dry. And like, oh, maybe there's nothing left, because nothing really gives me that joy the way it did
Right.
when I first started.
Well, to almost dial back or where you're talking about Caleb doing his GameCube Gambit, right? Series of him
Uh huh.
getting all the GameCube games and then immediately selling it. I guess
Right.
he's getting more of that excitement, dopamine hit with the uh, going out and getting the games, like the what the heck am I trying to say? The adventure, the
Like the thrill of the hunt.
thrill of the hunt, rather than the completion. He's like, it's done. I'll sell it. It was a cool series, so he made great content with it. People were
Right.
excited for it. It's now completed. I'm selling it and moving on to the next thing that's going to
Right.
excite me. I'm not going to be excited just seeing it sit on the shelf. It was more fun going to the stores, making the trades, meeting people, and
And
getting the
and
collection.
and I think that's what Aaron's kind of found over the last couple of years. Aaron, aka Riff, from Pixel Game Squad. I think what he really enjoys, I think he likes having some of the stuff, but I think it's the thrill of the hunt. What am I going to find today? That really excites him, and that is addicting as well. Like, I think that's why the Game Chasers did what they did, and while we all kind of followed along, like, oh man, what are we going to find? On my very first outing ever, the very first time I ever went yard selling or
Hmm.
sailing, however you want to say it, I found a Virtual Boy.
Yeah.
That's not normal. It totally threw off my expectations of the future. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna find something incredible every time I go out," which didn't
Right.
happen,
Right.
but it was a great way to start, I'll tell you that, because it was like going fishing and hooking, like, the biggest fish of the trip,
Yeah.
your first try. It's like, "Oh my gosh, let's go." Um, but yeah, I can totally see, maybe that's where Caleb's excitement comes from is the thrill of the hunt more
Hmm.
so than actually owning and keeping the collection.
Right.
But I still sold stuff this week that if you would have asked me 5 years ago, "Jay, will you ever sell this Mario telephone?" I'd be like, "Heck no, I'll never sell it. This thing is amazing. I'm never selling this. The box is awesome. I love looking at it. I'm never getting rid of this."
Well, let me ask you this: wouldn't you? been able to just almost in like my situation, put it in a couple boxes and put it in your garage since you don't have
Well,
the space, right? That was the that
yeah,
was the need. Like I'm cutting my game room in half, so it literally can't fit in half the size. So I got to clear some stuff out. Maybe you want
yeah,
to
but then at
store it
that point,
away.
what's the point? At that point, what's the point of keeping it?
I
If
guess
it's just
just
sitting in a
well to switch
storage in
out
my garage.
your theme or whatever. Maybe you want to move that blink sign that's behind you and something else and bring out new stuff to freshen up the look. I don't
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, that's a possibility, but I kind of just thought, like, if I have to store this, like, what's the point? Like, I mean,
know.
I do see what you're saying. Maybe I could freshen up and switch it out and keep it interesting. But there's also just another part of me that thought, what if my house burnt down one day? I just lose all this, and like, you have to
That
have
is
like
true.
collector's insurance to like really get anything back from it. Like, just
Hmm.
thousands of dollars just gone. And also, I just kind of felt like, maybe it's time. Maybe I've enjoyed this Mario phone for the last 10 years. It's time for someone else to own it. And then the other thing too, um, like, I've, I don't know others that share this belief, but I'm of Christian background, and there's a Bible verse that says, like, don't store up your treasures on earth. They're worthless. When you die, you can't take any of this stuff with you. So, like,
I
I
mean,
guess,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a saying I'm sure everyone knows. When you're going to take it to your grave, you can be buried with the NES
yeah.
tapes.
And here's the thing: as much as I want my kids to think that this Nintendo sign is cool, and maybe they do from the simple aspect that it lights up and flashes,
Hmm.
they don't care about this. This is not history to them. They didn't go to KB Toys growing up.
Right, right,
There's no memories tied to this thing to them. So I don't know. I just felt like it was time to get rid of it. It felt a bit cathartic, to be honest with you. Like, it made me feel kind of good. Like, okay, I can survive without this stuff. I can let go of some of this stuff, and I'm still gonna be happy. I didn't depend on it for happiness the way I might have thought so 5 years ago.
right. I mean, and then you could almost argue the point where me and you are content creators here on YouTube. So a lot of the stuff maybe we got for content to show people film stuff, and then we don't need it right anymore. We
I
can get
mean,
rid of it.
that's I'm glad you said that because it reminds me of something I was telling Jordan this weekend. Because Jordan's like, "Well, how do you feel getting rid of it all?" And I was like, honestly, like, I feel pretty good. And if I ever do miss that Mario phone, I'm just gonna go on YouTube and Google search the video you and I made where I talked about that one and you talked about the one where he's on the little go-kart. And I'm gonna watch that and probably get the same feeling I would get coming in my room and watching it. And I can be proud of the video we made and enjoy it that way. So
Right.
it's almost like my retro life. Like, Tyler has all these memories documented that his dad filmed. Well, I kind of have a memory of my game room documented, like with all the Nintendo Oddities videos. So
Right. Right. Absolutely.
so I still have a little piece of it. I just have to just watch it on YouTube.
As long as YouTube's still a thing.
That's true. I guess it could always die. I think I have most of them on my hard drive. So
That could be a whole nother episode.
as long as the hard drive doesn't crash, then
I'm like, I still need to get a distinct like external drive or even
yeah,
another backup to like put some of the content that I made that I want to watch again. Like maybe not all the game hunting stuff, but like certain
right,
videos.
yeah, yeah. And I was proud of the Nintendo Oddity series. I mean, like, I thought that was a fun idea and a great show. I think I was about 5 years too late with it. I think if I'd have started maybe like 2008, 2009, maybe it would have been more of a hit. Um, but maybe I'm just conceited and think that my videos are better than they actually are. I don't know.
Well, if you guys aren't subscribed to Jay already, be sure to check out NES Attic on YouTube.
For
Still
all the
watch all his
new
content.
content pouring out daily,
Well, if they never seen any of your stuff,
oh,
maybe they only found us through the podcast. They only know you
there
from. Who
you go.
knows?
That's true. There's a lot of backlog, guy. There's not much in the future, unfortunately. So we'll see. We'll see what I pull out of my hat.
Perfect. I'd say we'll dive into some of the comments and kind of play off of that to see what people were saying on the social medias, whether
Yeah,
do
yeah.
your possessions own you.
I'd be curious to see what people say.
Sweet. All right, let's check it out.
What did you say? What did you say?
Springfield, let's hear from you.
All right, we'll go over to our YouTube page. They have the community tab. You can leave a comment. We got Phoenix Severus. Sounds like the beginning question from the pastor on Sunday church seminar.
There you go.
I own my possessions. I learn to balance. The items I keep are things I have great memories of. I learn to share those memories by playing with them with my family and friends. I learn to balance my time to where I can work, volunteer, attend church, and spend time with my family. When I got rid of my possessions to focus on work, community service, and church, it led to being overworked, stress, and some general unhappiness. Restarting my game room gave me a chance to go out and game hunt with my family, then come home and play those games with them and make new memories with them.
That's really well said. I think the key that he speaks of is just balance is everything, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you got to have that balance in your life. And like Jay, almost brought up before when he was talking about drug addiction, right? I mean, any addiction too much can be overwhelming and lead to depression. If you're just constantly spending money on getting games that you don't have room for and can't afford, and you just need to keep going out to feel that just to get it. It's like you got to get that balance, man. Let's take
But
a step back.
I do like that he went the opposite way, a way that maybe I wouldn't have suspected, where he said, when I did sell all my stuff, then I overworked because I didn't have a hobby to pour into some to have some free time and some downtime. So basically what I think he's saying is like, keeping a little bit of it isn't necessarily a bad thing, as long as you don't put priority on it over important things.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's see. What's Mike's mom say? Nostalgia owns a lot of people, period.
He's not wrong.
Perfect. Short and to the point. All right, Colby. Purchase splurge thrifting. Collecting is definitely something I've been cursed and blessed with all at the same time. A few things I've kept since childhood, but most I've had to require as an adult. Some have been things I've always wanted as a kid that I was able to afford as an adult. Collecting to me is something I'm passionate about, however. I've reevaluated at times what the best for me collecting wise doing down the road. I was going hard for NES at one point, and I'm around 500 currently. But I came to a point where I said to myself, why am I trying to go after all these games? Most of which at this point are either the crappy stuff no one wants to play or
Yeah,
the ridiculously pricey stuff. So now
that's where
I
I'm at as well.
so now I just collect mostly Nintendo stuff, Switch, NES, Super NES, and 64 games that I'm going to want to play and I'm interested in playing in the future. Yeah, well
Yeah,
said. You want to narrow down your collecting goals. I feel like a lot of us when we were watching these YouTube videos and coming out, it was like, yes, go, 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 like grab all these games. And I myself, I probably haven't purchased a new Nintendo game um quite some time. I have my SNES Classic that I use to stream every Wednesday, 8 o'clock on YouTube.
shameless self promotion.
And it has all the games on there that I could ever want to play. And what I have in my collection is more of either what I had growing up or something tied to it. It's not a lot of filler stuff, just to have a wall of NES games essentially.
Right, right.
Andy from the '90s are rad. Hope you're enjoying your weekly Warpipe T-shirt. You can pick one up at theweeklywarpipe.com.
That's right.
My collection means a lot to me. However, if I had to, I would get rid of most of it. Besides my N64 and Switch collection, maybe a few random games from other systems, and a few VHS tapes that I had since I was a kid. I
I get
just
that.
have fun going out, finding this stuff, and I can always go back and buy this stuff again.
It's true.
Yeah, eBay's your friend, or conventions, wherever you want to purchase it again. Riffer City Ransom. My collection means a lot to me, but for the most part, I am done collecting. I think a strong sign of your possessions owning you is when your space or room starts to look like an episode of Hoarders.
He's just saying that because he's been to my house.
and you refuse to tell any of it. You just don't know when to stop. Also, if you're still collecting but in a very bad financial bind, that's another big sign.
True.
My theory is if you can afford it and it's not going to cause the wife to be outraged,
I like it.
keep on playing.
So, that's Jordan. He actually came and bought a few things from me the other day. He got my Mario hat and, what else did he get from me? I can't remember right now, but something else.
Awesome. Yeah, me and him been chatting back and forth. We have a collaboration we're going to be working on coming soon. With me
That's gonna be
moving and
cool.
stuff, it's kind of delayed a little bit. So, but we're trying to keep the fire going with it. I think it's gonna be real fun when it comes out.
Yeah, we had talked about doing something, but we just hadn't been able to get on the same page. Maybe one day.
All right, who else we got? We got D Castro. Says for me, it was out of hand and had way too much at one point. My hobby or possessions owned me at one point and then finally decided to call it quits. I was spending too much time and money on them. Now I only focus on what truly brings nostalgia and only what I'm interested in playing. Sold most of my collection and kept a few things. As of now, I'm done collecting, so they no longer own me.
There you
LOL.
go. You've broken the curse.
Broken the curse. The curse of, I don't know.
The
Submitted
curse of
for, I was going to say, submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society.
That's right. The curse of the gaming room. So the other thing I decided is like, uh, sometimes like when you're decorating, you can over decorate, and it's like the word less is more.
Hmm.
So that's the theme that I'm trying to take in here. I'm not there yet because I still got a lot of purging to do, but I think I'm gonna go less is more. So when I walk in, everything I see is gonna be like a banger. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
No, it's like all killer, no filler, like Sum 41.
Great album. What we got over on Facebook, I think we had one person. Yeah, Aaron left us a comment here. Says, that's a toughie. While I don't feel like my possessions own me, I do feel like that's what I'm pretty much known for in my small circle. I'm the guy with the huge console and handheld collection. That's the thing, though, they're just my collection. There are at times when I don't touch any of those items for weeks and I don't feel defined by my stuff. I'm sure I could also let go a majority of my collection without giving it a second thought. But it'll be a cold day and HE double hockey sticks
I like
be-
it.
before I part with my Panasonic Q or my 1982 Donkey Kong penny bank.
Oh, that's rad. Yeah. And
Nice.
and that's kind of the way I feel about my Super NES collection. Um, I have everything I ever owned with the
Hmm.
exception of the Home Alone 2 that I traded to this kid in 6th grade. Um, and then I ended up getting his F-Zero, to which he returned, said, "I want my F-Zero back," to which he returned, traded me Hit the Ice, and then I still never got Home Alone back, but I still like Hit the Ice.
Fair enough.
So that's one thing I'll never get rid of is my original Super NES collection that my dad bought me.
Perfect. Yeah, yeah. That holds that nostalgia and sentimental
Yeah,
feel.
that's it. Yep.
All right, over on Instagram, Nintendo. What's up, buddy?
What's up,
Ho-
Joe?
hopefully I'll see you at Retro World. I don't know if you're headed out to Retro World. Maybe I'll see you or maybe some of our other listeners.
Hold on a second. Gotta put my earbud in.
Oh, okay. Jake can't
This
hear
is
what
for
I'm saying.
Joe. This is for Joe. He wants the shirt off, so here we go.
Freaking Jake.
We're going for it.
All right, Jake. Joe says, I gave up on collecting and willing to part with them if Jay takes his shirt off. There we go. In all serious, I feel that it did not own me, and over time, the hobby became ridiculously expensive, and the joy of hunting faded. I just buy Switch games now.
Sorry, I'm reading down the Cup of Retros comment.
Well, glad you're still keeping the hobby going, and Switch games are fun. I feel like a lot of the Switch games I do get now almost still have that uh like 8-bit, 16-bit graphic looking, so it's
Yeah.
still kind of giving me that nostalgia kick.
Yep.
All right. Cup of Retro says Luigi owns me.
It's true. I think he does. I think he really does.
I don't know what Manny said. Manny Arcade left a comment, but
Just
nothing showed
dot
up.
dot. It just dot dot dot.
It's just dot. And then Scruffy GIF. My collection is a bunch of stuff that I love to collect, but to be honest, hunting for this stuff. I don't know. Is things not loading?
Mm,
No, he just ends on that. Maybe he
maybe
just means
hunt,
he likes hunting for the stuff more.
but my collection is a bunch of stuff that I love to collect. But to be honest, hunting for this stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe he thought it. I don't know. Man. Who knows what happened there?
Who knows? We appreciate the comment though.
That's right. Sure do.
Good points. Good points indeed.
Russ, do you ever think there'll come a time when you slim down the collection? I know that question is tough to answer because you just are about to have the hugest game room of any person I know, and it's gonna look pretty bare if you whittle it down to nothing. And
That's
you're
true. So I mean the downside to the room I'm getting is it does have like the vaulted ceilings.
okay.
So it becomes an issue of I can't have nice like
Oh,
huge bookcases, right, to put all the games. It's like
you're talking to the choir here, Russ.
right, yeah, he has the it's in the attic, so you get the so only thing I can put up there is posters and stuff. So I feel like a lot of my collection won't be able to be fully displayed unless I sacrifice other areas, right?
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. It's a challenge again. A lot of stuff's up in boxes, so once I start unloading, I'll get a better idea of what we're gonna do and put up in there. And also the whole room isn't gonna be just video games. We do want to try to divide it up to have like a DIY section with a nice
Yep.
table, cabinets, and stuff like that. So there won't be game stuff over there. But we'll see. Again, if I do, it's going to come down to what stuff is sentimental to me. My maybe original games that I remember playing. Anything I got as a birthday present. Like I'm never going to sell my Chrono Trigger because that was
Right.
mine. Growing up. But like I said, I've been playing most of my NES games on like the NES Classic just because
Yeah.
it's easier. It's HDMI. But I did just get my top loader NES back, which is AV modded,
Nice.
and my buddy modded my Famicom, which is AV modded, and I have a few games that I bought when I was out in California for SoCal that I have yet to play. So maybe I'll start, collect shifting that, buying some Famicom games.
Did you get Kid Dracula?
No, I did not. I did not.
Bummer.
I forget if that's a pricey one. I know it's a good one. I don't know if it's cost a lot though.
I don't know. I don't think it does.
But yeah, I bought I think 3 games. One had like King Kong on it. One I think was like a cowboy one. The guy kind of recommended at the booth. He was like, "Yeah, these are fun." So I was like, "All right, I'll give it
Cool.
a go."
Sweet.
Yeah. I'll probably be bringing some stuff to I'll be at Retro World Expo later this month. See, August 23rd, 24th, 25th at the Hartford Convention Center. I'm gonna have a booth there. I'm gonna get a nice banner made with the weekly war pipe to kind of
Let's
promote the
go.
podcast. But since I'll have a booth, I'll be selling some stuff. So I'll probably bring. I do have like a small box of like games that either maybe I played and didn't like or something. So I'll be selling some of that stuff. But I'm gonna try to bring maybe some paintings that I do. Um, I have the NES overlays I'll be selling and a bunch of stickers and magnets of regular merch from my stuff. So we'll see how that goes. So if you guys are going out to Retro World Expo, you can catch me at the show all 3 days. Come up and chat and talk about the podcast. Maybe I'll give you a sticker.
Yeah, tell everyone how you think that I'm the new Phoenix resale and that you're disappointed in me selling all my stuff and I'm not a real gamer and why does Russ still have me on the channel? Or leave it in the comments below. You know?
No. Any other points you want to make with this topic, Jay?
No, I I don't know that I fully articulated exactly how I feel about it all, but hopefully so. And I do apologize for that lengthy intro. I was just trying to get it all out and I have terrible ADD.
Yeah, I think it was a good topic to bring up and tackle it two different ways. As long as you're having balance with your hobbies, right? They'll
Right,
still bring you joy and no stress. Once you start giving into that, like I have to get a game, maybe
right,
every time you go to the game store or you go to like
right,
these conventions, I got to spend money that I don't have. You're like, oh, we're behind on bills, and you're over here buying $100 old NES games, then that
right.
becomes an issue.
The other thing that I wanna say is, like, when I first started the Awesome collection, it was kinda like the nest hole that our buddy Gabbo did. Like, I totally expected to try to get all of them. I mean, with the exception of maybe crazy ones like Nintendo World Championship, Stadium stuff that was gonna cost me, like, over 500 bucks, let's say, was gonna be my limit. So, I was, I was gonna expect to get as many of them as I could, but I kind of decided recently, like, kinda like, our friend that had the 500 games, like, am I gonna play the 350 games that I have? Probably not. I always use Battle Chess as an example because I think that game's garbage, but I don't wanna play Battle Chess. The game takes 500 years to move one piece. Um, so I'll keep the good stuff, the Contras, the Double
Mhm.
Dragons, the Mario 1, 2s, and 3s, the Castlevanias, maybe a few of the random weird ones like the Monster Parties and, Felix the Cats, but I may start paring down the old NES collection too. Part of the reason is because now that I have my shelves all gone, like, I need some room. So, but I guess the whole point I was going to make, I don't know if I actually said it, was the fact that, if you set out to collect the whole collection, it's okay to change your mind on that, you know, a third, a fourth, halfway through, whatever, whenever you decide, it's okay to be like, you know what, I don't want to do that. So you don't have to keep pushing just because you said you would.
Right, just because you put out that goal that you set.
Mm,
And again, it could be um what do I keep forgetting what it says? The hunt, the thrill of the hunt. It could be the
yeah.
thrill of the hunt
Yeah.
that you're mostly excited about.
Yeah. Could be a till of
Breaking
the hun.
breaking up your strategies and goals. You're like, okay, maybe rather than collecting every single NES game, I'll do a more realistic one. Let's collect all the Konami games
Right.
and see if that suffices your need. And then okay, now maybe we can move on to all the Capcom games because there's a couple of heavy hitters in that one.
Yeah. So I think my new channel name should be the Rehab NES Addict. And then when I start buying stuff again, I'll be the relapsed NES Addict.
The relapsed.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I think that pretty much sums up what I was trying to say and what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah,
Hopefully it was thought provoking and entertaining.
yeah, I think it was. We try to switch up the topics here on the weekly warp pipe and not always just talk about what's your favorite video game. What was the top whatever box console we enjoyed.
Yeah. What was your favorite Nintendo Power cover? Hey,
Right.
that should actually be one.
That's a good topic one. Yeah.
Yeah. See. Okay. There we go.
I did want it. We'll see if we go for next week. I did want it to kind of maybe do something summer related
Okay.
where it's I know we do a lot of video game stuff, but if you haven't heard any of the past episodes, we have covered like music, we did fashion and toys, and I thought it'd be
Right.
fun to do maybe like summer of 1995 and kind of chat about what music we were listening to, toys we were playing, how do we stay entertained in the summer. um
Yeah.
Obviously dive into a little bit of video games, and then maybe I can do some research and see what were the hot movies out that year, what were the top
Yeah.
tracks.
And like maybe we could talk about like what movies we remember seeing for sure. What summer should we go with, Russ?
I figured 95, or I like
Okay.
the I like the five. We can't do 85 because me and you were way too young to remember
Yep.
the actual 85. I mean, we could do 1990 and keep
I,
it
I would say like
zeros.
I would say 92 might be a good one. 95, 93 might be a good one. I think
So
anything 90 to
earlier.
95. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
then maybe like 99 at some point just because 99 was like I feel like that a pretty memorable summer.
Right. Or some you're transitioning over the last
Yeah,
99 before
that's it.
2000.
That's right. So yeah, that sounds fun. We'll do that.
Sweet. If you guys do have topics you want us to cover or suggestions or anything, you can actually call us and leave a voicemail. That phone number is 949-682-9277, 949-682-WARP. Or you can check out the weekly warpipe.com. It has all our videos on there if you want to check out the videos, or if you're just listening, and you can rate us, I guess. Leave us a comment on there, however that works. Spotify, iTunes, you know.
Yeah. Give us a good rating,
Yeah. See if we
even
can
if you don't mean it.
push the podcast out to more people. Let's go.
That's right.
Full throttle. Quick shout out to our Patreons, our top tier Patreons, our Dan and Nicole's Treasures Untold, Joe Sheevy, Trace Living Good, Samantha Chang, Rodney Torres, Retroholic 16, and Austin Mills. Supporting the show. Support us over on my Patreon, patreon.com/Russ Lyman. Rustly Man.
Rustly
Check it out.
Man. For
I did
shirtless pictures of Jay, join the
that's the
the
top
Patreon.
tier
Yeah,
level.
top tier Patreon.
Shirtless pictures of the host.
If you want more of what you saw today.
As always, guys, thanks for jumping in the warp pipe with us, and we'll see you on the next level.